Thank you for being here. All right, I think we can start, and there will be people that will join us as we go. But I first just wanted to say thank you for coming. I know we've got plenty of Zoom in our life, and so it's beautiful that you're showing up for this. Really appreciate it. This June will mark the 10th anniversary of this festival, which is kind of amazing. It's the Maine Chamber Music Seminar, and you will probably be hearing people refer to it as MCMS because the Maine Chamber Music Seminar is a mouthful. And so MCMS, who are we? We are a mentoring festival, which for non-musicians, festival sort of another term for a seminar or workshop or place of learning, really. And it is festive, but that's not the origin of that term in this case. So we're a mentoring festival, and we inhabit the campus of the Snow Pond Center for the Arts in Sidney, Maine, which is also the home of New England Music Camp, which my family is they're the founding family of New England Music Camp, and it's sort of how this all happened. So our participant musicians range in age from 17 to about 30 plus, and these are all people who are on their journey, somewhere on their journey of figuring out how they're going to make their life as a musician. There's so many ways to make one's life as a musician, and sometimes it ends up that you don't end up you're not a performer, but you are an avid supporter, an avid audience member, or you end up teaching. But there are so many different ways, and it's so important for us that at these points in our lives, in these young years, that we have the opportunity to meet people and see different kinds of role models and figure out our own paths. When I think back to my own path, I realize that it was shaped by so many factors, but I can point clearly to a number of summer music festivals that I was lucky enough to attend in my 20s. And those festivals ended up being really pivotal in my understanding of what life as a musician could look like and how I might go about making those things happen. One setting that was particularly defining for me was a festival in Vermont where I was lucky enough to spend a couple of summers. That festival, the faculty played as members of each student ensemble. So the faculty and the students were playing together, and they were leading, mentoring by example from within the group. And this model seemed so perfect to me. There was the veteran players sitting alongside the less experienced players. Somehow the sharing of ideas and the shaping of musical phrases together seemed to happen by osmosis in that setting. So simply by listening to one another and feeling another player's breath or seeing how they would draw their bow, it just made for a kind of learning that was really quite magical. So my emphasis on these summer festivals is not in any way a slight to my formal education or any of our formal education or that of young musicians today. It's just that the kind of immersion that takes place in these intense rehearsal hours every day in, day out, and playing alongside your mentor and talking shop at lunch and throwing a frisbee and in between. These are the kinds of moments that somehow synthesize the learning in a very special way. This setting brings us to our most basic form, where we're inspired to be our very best selves as people and to bring our very best skills as musicians to our groups every day. And it takes a very special kind of listening, and I think that's one of the most important aspects of what we do as musicians every day, and what we all need to do as humans in our lives every day is develop these listening skills. Those listening skills are partnered with a sense of really allowing ourselves to be vulnerable to one another. So with time and patience, our bodies begin to decompress in these intensive settings, and our minds begin to open, and somehow the real learning takes place, and the music really comes off the page, and that's what we're all looking to do. So this way of integrating faculty is playing alongside the participants has been a model for us from the start. But this event tonight is really about you guys and your support and making this possible for these young musicians. None of this would be possible without your generous support. 85% of our musicians every year get a very, very substantial scholarship, which makes it possible for them to attend. You know, when we began our program back in 2012, I think we'd all hoped that we'd have some sort of a cushy endowment that would allow us to float our participants and give them everything that they needed to be able to attend, but that hasn't happened yet. I still have, I think we all still have that dream that could happen. But as of now, we are fully dependent upon your generosity and others like you to allow for our program to exist and to allow for these musicians to attend. So we'll see. The endowment might still happen. We can all pray. So tonight you'll be hearing from a number of recent alumni as well as from our faculty. We'll be sharing some personal stories, and we'll be sharing some performances, some from last June and one that was actually made for this occasion. And there will be some surprises along the way as well. So throughout the evening, my wonderful assistant, Mina Kim. Mina, you want to give a wave? Mina will be posting in the chat the various ways that you can donate. And I should mention, if you have any possibility of a corporate match, be in touch with us and we'd be happy to help you facilitate that. So we will try to keep this program to...
We would love to help you facilitate that.
Yeah. We'll try to keep this program to an hour. We'll do our very best. And so with that in mind, I will move right on and introduce you to a young man who came to us last June, a really, really fine bassoonist who is doing his master's at New England Conservatory. And Delano was a delight to have. He added so much to our program. And I think it was midst of COVID, right? And we didn't know if we could have anything. And I think Delano is bound for an orchestra job, but here he was. He landed at MCMS in a very intensive small chamber music festival, and boy, did he make the most of it. So Delano, take it away.
Thank you, Joanne. And I'm very happy to be here speaking with you all today. And like Joanne said, my name is Delano Bell. I am a bassoonist, completing my master's degree at New England Conservatory here in Boston. And next fall, I will be starting my doctoral studies at Stony Brook University. So I guess I'll just begin by talking about chamber music in general and why it's so special and different from orchestra. Like Joanne said, I love playing in orchestra, and it's something that I really envision for myself as a career, that in teaching. But chamber music is a lot different than orchestra music in terms of the intimacy of it and like the diversity and the detail of it. And how we work on it is so much different from sitting in rehearsal and an orchestra when the conductor's telling you what to do. Chamber music, everybody's involved, everybody's playing, everybody's giving advice. And that brings me to why MCMS is so special. And that's because everybody has such a say in what's going on in the rehearsals, and the faculty are in there playing with you, but they're not taking over the rehearsal. They're inviting people to give their feedback, say what they like, how things can get better and what we're really trying to achieve. And what else is so special about MCMS is the chance to just really immerse yourself, it being a 2-week festival. Every day you're waking up, you're going to rehearsals, 3 rehearsals a day, and you're eating meals and sharing everything with your colleagues. And so it really gives you the chance to develop these close, long-lasting relationships, not only musically, but outside of music with your colleagues. And that really goes beyond MCMS when you leave. The MCMS faculty are truly amazing. And, not only is their musical direction really stellar, just listening to their stories, their career paths, and what they have to say is really just inspiring in terms of giving you options as to what you can do as a musician. You know, there's not only playing in an orchestra, you can be a chamber musician, you can do all these kinds of things, you know, that really make music quite worthwhile. And you know, chamber music is a great way to reach communities and do outreach and things like that. And so it's a much more personal thing, and MCMS is really great at highlighting that. And so I'm so glad that I got the chance to join them. So in terms of scholarships, they are beyond essential for musicians, especially young musicians trying to get their start, because festivals are so important for young musicians and in their development and their growth. And I know that for me, MCMS was one of my first festival experiences, and it's one that I'll always remember because it was just my first exposure to really intense music making over, you know, a long period of time. And it's just really important. And having scholarships gives the chance to promote diversity and inclusivity in the arts, which studying music is not cheap, going to school is not cheap. And so it's just really, truly very important that everybody has the chance to do these things. And so we really appreciate all of your support, and it really does mean a lot to many musicians. So that said, the first excerpt we're going to be listening to is from the first movement of György Ligety's Six Bagatelles for Wind Quintet. So this was a quintet that I played in along with Joanne and 3 other students. And we'll see that here. Ligety was a very influential 20th century composer who really explored and redefined what music was and the process of composing music. The Six Bagatelles were originally an 11 movement work for solo piano, and Ligety took 6 movements from that, non-consecutive movements, and composed this work. The work develops what's called a 12-tone row over the course of these 11 movements. So it starts with only 2 notes, the next movement expands to 3 notes, the next one is 4 notes, and so on. And so this piece is really quite interesting, and it also includes a lot of Eastern European folk songs. So with that said, please enjoy this excerpt from György Ligety's Six Bagatelles for Wind Quintet, and thank you.
That was wonderful. Hi, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful Ligety. My name is Anna Lim. I am one of the faculty violinists, and I have been on board with MCMS since almost the beginning, since the 2nd year. So I think I've been there 9 times. Forgive me if it sounds like a bathtub in here. I'm in this very, very resonant room, but I hope you can all hear me. So what I have to say is really, just similar to what Joanne and Delano already said, that this place, MCMS, is incredibly special. I mean, I have been to a lot of music festivals in my life, and I think it's really the place with the most generosity of spirit. I think that's what I would say about it, and that is very much given direction by Joanne, and I think Joanne has had that as one of her goals, to not only nurture the music making, but to nurture the whole person. She takes care of all of us faculty and also the students, and I think it's one of the most striking things about the festival, that also the guest artists who have come have said that same thing. And of course, we want to pass on the skills of music making, the technique, the listening, the give and take, the good rehearsal habits. And then I think also one of the best things about MCMS is that we try to give the young musicians a sense of what it means to be a musician in this day and age, which I think is a very hard thing. And I'm inspired a lot by the students themselves, that they're wanting to go into this field that isn't really a moneymaker by any means, but is so increasingly important in our difficult and very fractured world. So yeah, without further ado, I think I'll introduce the next excerpt, which is played by us faculty members. So it's the third movement from the Brahms Clarinet Quintet, which is one of my all-time favorite pieces, certainly one of the great works of chamber music by Brahms. And yeah, it's the Andantino, the third movement.
So that was so much fun to record. It's kind of dreamy to be able to get to play with my some of my very favorite colleagues. So that was what was lovely. I have a few mentions of thanks. First of all, to our dear friends Nancy Kestenbaum and David Clafter for loaning us their gorgeous living room to make that recording, and to Daniel Schloss for filming us. And also to Alexis Gerlach, who was our cellist in that. Michal, our cellist, faculty cellist, was in Israel at the time. It was crazy. We had Anna coming in from Rome, and Michal ends up in Israel. So we kind of juggled and we made it work. So thank you to all. And now I have the pleasure of introducing our wonderful faculty violist, Jessica Thompson. Jessie.
Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. As Joanne said, my name is Jessie Thompson. I am the viola faculty at MCMS. Last summer was actually my first summer there, and I am already hooked. It is such a special place. I mean, others have spoken very eloquently about what makes it so special. And I just wanted to say a few words about kind of why chamber music. You know, Joanne and Anna and Delano have all alluded to, I mean, I think a really a big skill set that comes with learning to play chamber music well. You know, there's the listening and the being able to do your own thing while listening and responding to others around you, and the ability to give and take feedback in a constructive and positive way, and to, you know, hold, you know, to work on something about which you hold very strong convictions and feel very passionately, and to be able to be open to others' ideas and maybe even admit that, you know, you try something a different way and, oh, somebody else's idea was better than my own. So these things make us all better musicians in any context, whether it's playing chamber music, playing solo repertoire, teaching, playing in an orchestra. It strengthens all of those skills, but it also really strengthens skills that are valuable in nearly, you know, any facet of your life, in a work context, in relationships. This being able to work collaboratively and positively in this kind of way is such a valuable experience. And so that's what we strive to give the students at MCMS. And I think it's just such a wonderful collegial atmosphere and such a supportive atmosphere. And, you know, I got the sense last summer that everyone was really there just for the joy of music making. And it was so refreshing and so wonderful, especially coming out of, you know, a very difficult year plus of COVID. So yeah, I can't wait to go back. And next, I would like to turn it over to a violinist, a young violinist who I had the pleasure of working with last summer, Corinne Bennett.
Hi, it's so nice to see everyone. This is really amazing. I'm Corinne Bennett, and I'm a violinist and a recent graduate of Brooklyn College. So there are so many things that make MCMS special, one of which is that each ensemble has a faculty member playing with them. And for me, this was especially special because Jessie Mills, who is on faculty, was in one of my ensembles, and it was just a highlight for me to play alongside my teacher. And we had worked together for the past 2 years at Brooklyn College. So especially after a year of remote learning, it was extremely meaningful to me to have this opportunity to rehearse and perform next to Jessie and experience how he led the group with his movements, his breath, and his sound. For me, these are the kinds of learning moments that really need to be felt in order to be internalized. And I have a very strong sense memory of our performance together. And it's something I find myself returning to and drawing inspiration and energy from regularly. I'm a teacher myself. I teach Suzuki violin, and I have some students that are now advanced enough to start playing chamber music, and I'm definitely going to find opportunities to play alongside them and create the kind of environment that I experienced at MCMS, which was so meaningful for me. I think this passing on of information and experience from generation to generation is really critical for learning and understanding music. And I'm really glad to have had such great mentors this summer. So thanks to all the faculty here. I'm grateful for so many memories, and I just would be remiss to say also that Snow Pond is such a beautiful place to be together. And outside of music making, just so many great memories, building personal relationships, sitting by the lake on the dock, and that was really special for me. So this is definitely an experience that I'll remember forever, and it wouldn't have been possible for me to attend without assistance from the scholarship fund. As Delano mentioned, there are so many expenses as a musician, and it's not really a money-making career, as Anna mentioned. So this scholarship fund is so essential, and I know the contributions made tonight and in the future will be really meaningful to participants that attend in future years. So now I'd like to introduce the piece that Jesse and I performed together alongside with Alex and Franz, who I saw here somewhere. Hi. The piece is Carolyn Shaw's Untrocked, and I find it to be a very emotionally effective and powerful piece. It begins with a 4-note motive that comes in and out of focus as the piece unfolds, and it always seems to return and unify the ensemble no matter how disjointed the parts have become. So I hope you enjoyed our performance. Thank you.
Oh no, Michal.
Michal? Michal, if you're there.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, are we good? Okay, hi, my name is Giora Schmidt. I'm the cello person at MCMS. I've been there since the very beginning with Joanne. This will be my 10th year there. The truth is that I've been connected to the place since 1995, to the pond and to NEMC, the New England Music Camp. I came in 1995. That was the year I met Joanne. I came with 3 children, a 12-year-old who was a reluctant camper, violinist, a 7-year-old and a 1-year-old. The 1-year-old and the 7-year-old grew to be campers for many years and counselors. The 7-year-old is in her 30s now, and she still works at the camp. And the 12-year-old violinist was our guest last year as the guest artist, which was a wonderful treat. I love my family at MCMS. Joanne has been a friend for 20-some years, 27 years. And even when I didn't teach at NEMC anymore, I would come to pick a daughter up or drop a daughter for the camp for the summer. I would sleep in her cabin and visit with her. So when she called me to tell me in 2012 that she has a new adventure for me to join, not for 8 weeks and not with little children, I said yes. So I'm thrilled to go back this summer again. We always get to meet wonderful students. The level is getting higher and higher every summer. And the repertoire is interesting, and it's always enriching for me as it is for the students. So I think it is my honor, my pleasure, my absolute delight to introduce to you my son, Giora Schmidt, who was our guest last summer and now will play live something for you. I'm not sure what. Hi, Giora.
Hi, thanks, Mama. If you hear screaming in the background, it's my 3-year-old twins. It's not part of the performance, so I apologize in advance. Just a couple of words. I don't want to beat a dead horse because we've heard everything about what makes MCMS so important and what makes it so special. But I will say that for myself, the importance of summer programs is absolutely priceless. It provides door-opening and life-changing opportunities to work with a new teacher, mentor, form lifelong friendships, share musical values, and grow in a direction as a human, artist, and musician that was usually unexpected from before you came. I never have spoken to anyone that leaves a place like MCMS saying, you know, that was really kind of not what I was expecting in a bad way. It was always not what I was expecting in a good way. And if you can do this all in one of the most beautiful places on earth, then you've got a winning recipe. And so I think that's what MCMS has. And when I was first a student and then on the faculty of the Perlman Music Program in Shelter Island, I remember Itzhak's wife, Toby, saying, it takes 10 years. And we all were like, what does this mean? She said, it takes 10 years to build something worthwhile, but if you do it right, then you really start making an impact. And so I think crossing the 10-year mark, especially coming out of COVID, we're still kind of in COVID, it was an incredible achievement for me to be with all of you in person last summer. It was an oasis. It was an oasis for all of us, an in-person oasis when we were all Zoomed out. And I think when all programs were closed, Joanne and company, you managed to open and do it safely. I mean, God bless you. You know, I think that the festival is at an incredible turning point now. It's becoming a destination. The young people that I communicate with all around the world now know about MCMS, and I'm like, pretty good, because the feeling that was there last summer, I think, will just continue. It's kind of an unexplainable, unique thing that, you know, very few places manage to have, and very few places manage to keep going. So I think that if we can continue to grow and thrive what has already been happening the first 10 years, and I think it will become kind of a pillar in summer chamber music for young people across this country. And I think if you can sort of have that responsibility as supporters, you're doing a great service for the artistic community of this country and the training of young people moving forward. With that said, I'm going to stop talking and I'll play a song without words by Mendelssohn.
Thank you so much, Gigi. That was so beautiful. It was an amazing experience having Gigi with us last summer. Not only has he been, as he and his mom described, a part of the New England Music Camp and Snow Pond family since his birth, but he has really become a absolutely world-class, renowned musician, and we were just really blessed to have him as our guest artist last summer. He gave so much and brought so much vitality. So right now, moving along, I'm going to introduce another young musician who has been with us for a few summers. This is Tyler James. Tyler.
Oh, hi there. There's so much that's been said. I can only contribute what my experience has been. And the unique thing about MCMS to me has been the amazing connections and musical family that I've been able to build. I know a lot of people, a lot of places talk about creating a family, but Joanne really, well, she walks the walk. I remember coming to MCMS and I needed a place to stay in New York for a couple of months because I was playing with my school orchestra. And oh my gosh, having only known me 2 weeks, Joanne invited me to come stay at her apartment for a couple of months. And let me tell you, that place is like one of the salons of old Paris, just musicians and artists and students in and out all day. It's she has a whole community that she's built, and it's just amazing to be a small part of that. The other thing, is that I met my current teacher through Mina by coming to this festival several summers ago, and she introduced me to him, and I've been studying with him for a couple of years. And also through this festival, I met more formally Jesse Mills and Reiko, who are the head of chamber music where I go to grad school. And so I've been able to meet them and spend time with them. And this festival keeps changing my life. So that's why I keep trying to come as often as I can. And I couldn't speak more highly of a group of people and personalities and musicians. So that being said, without further ado, I will introduce Yelin, who is the pianist from our Schubert Trio, and she'll tell you a little bit more about that.
Hi, nice to see everybody. We are playing the Schubert E-flat major trio, D929. It's one of the last compositions of Schubert, dated November 1827, and it's among the few of his late compositions he heard before his death. So we did the first two movements in Snow Pond, and it's such a great piece, so we just decided to finish it, and we have a chance to perform it in my school, in the concert hall. So it's really great to play with these two great musicians, Tyler and Ariana, and appreciate for our great coachings, Professor Jesse and Professor Reiko.
Jackie? Jackie,
Yeah?
if you're there. Yeah.
Yeah? Whoops. Oh, I didn't realize the cat's here. I just got here. Sorry. What am I introducing? Am I introducing something? Sorry, it's been a crazy day.
You just introduce yourself, and then then you're actually just going right into introducing Jack, and then he'll bring in the Prokofiev.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, the Prokofiev, great. Right. I'm Jackie LeClaire. I've been teaching oboe and chamber music at MCMS, and I'm delighted to be a part of this. You all know all about it, and I share enthusiastically everything that's been said, for sure. I feel very fortunate as a human being to be embraced by MCMS the years I have been. It's really enhanced the beauty of my life, and we all need more beauty in our lives. Am I right? And chamber music is one of the best ways to do that, to share wonderful beauty with each other and to learn to be better people with each other. So thank goodness for MCMS. Thanks for everybody being here. I'm up in Quebec, so I'm thawing out my feet as we speak. And let me introduce Jack. We played the Prokofiev Quintet together, one of my favorite pieces, and he's going to tell us about him. Bye.
Hello there, everybody. My name's Jack, and I play the bass. And I know we're running late, so I'll try to keep my testimonial short. But there's a few things I'd like to say. The first thing about my experience at MCMS that comes to mind when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about was just how much I felt nurtured by the faculty and by the community that's created. I've been there 2 summers, and both have changed me. Particularly the first summer was a time when I was feeling kind of down on myself, and the encouragement that I got there had a big impact on me as a person and a musician, and I feel so grateful for that. I feel like I left that summer with more joy about music making than I had really ever felt up to that point. I had a little bit of a fear-based relationship to music developing, and MCMS was such an antidote to that. You know, conservatory environments can sometimes turn music into a competitive, ego, fear-based experience for some, not in all ways, but that can happen, and MCMS just really worked against that and just made me feel lucky and grateful to make music and happy to be taking this path. And you know, every voice is heard at MCMS. Every participant is heard, which is a special thing, and that does not happen everywhere. And it was just both summers, it's been a place where I felt like I could really fill my cup and my heart. And that was really true in 2019, my first summer, and incredibly true this past summer after the times that we've been going through. And it just feels especially important right now. And I did some theater when I was younger, and that world seems to have a really keen understanding of how their art can foster community and individual transformation in a profound way. They have deep understandings of ensemble that I feel like in music we don't always get, and we don't always take that approach. But at MCMS, I felt more than any other musical environment I've been in that it works towards that end and that ideal. And that's really special. And I left with both summers with a much greater and deeper sense of how music can transform us as individuals and as communities. And I was really taken by how close everybody got, faculty and students, and how much I was sad to leave them on the last morning. And, you know, I wonder, like, does Joanne know that everybody's going to be a really nice person? How is it that everybody seems to be so great each time? But it seems more likely that MCMS brings out the best in people. And I think a lot of that has to do with how the faculty role model of warmth and an openness and that infects all of us. So now I'll introduce this Prokofiev Quintet clip. This was a great group, and it's a great, crazy piece written for a small ballet group, and it's got a crazy circus thing going on. I think you're gonna love it. And also, thank you for donating.
Jesse and Rieko.
Hi everyone.
Hi
Great
there.
to see you all. I'm Rieko, I'm a pianist, and this is Jesse, violinist. First of all, we both admire Joanne so much. As you all know, she's a beautiful clarinetist, but also she's such a caring, wonderful person, and just she makes this MCMS place so special. And because of her, everyone there is so happy, and therefore we can inspire each other every moment. So thank you so much for including us. We just can't wait to go back.
Definitely. And yeah, I think everything that everybody's been saying, it's very inspiring. I find myself kind of shedding a tear here because it's very touching, to hear these heartfelt, thoughts from people, students and faculty, and it's all true, and it really just goes to show you how important leadership is, because, I won't talk about politics, but I will say that Joanne, you're doing a great job, and it inspires us all to be our best selves, and that's no small accomplishment. So we're really excited to be coming back. We've been looking forward to it ever since the last day of the festival. And it's particularly nice for us. Rieko and I are in a trio together called the Horszowski Trio. And we are thrilled that our cellist, Ole Akahoshi, who himself is a wonderful teacher and musician, teaches at the Yale School of Music. He's going to be the special guest this year, coming for a portion of the festival. And so that will enable our trio to be also contributing something as a group, in addition to the collaborations that we're doing with students and other faculty. So that's really exciting for us. And so we thought we would include a clip from our trio that was recorded right here on the other side of that wall. And it's the first movement from the Sibelius Trio number 4, which is also called the Loviisa Trio. I guess Loviisa is a place where Sibelius went as a vacation home, and he was inspired to write this kind of beautiful music. And it doesn't sound like Sibelius, the Sibelius that we know so much. It's a very youthful piece. And anyway, hope you enjoy it.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Jesse, Rieko, and Ola. That's absolutely gorgeous. And thank you to everyone. Thank you so much for coming, for showing up here. It's beautiful to spend this hour together. Thank you for opening your hearts and opening your wallets. You make this kind of educational model possible. For and accessible to all musicians, and that's a wonderful thing. So please give generously, and if you need to leave at this point, please feel free to leave. I won't feel slighted. I do have a number of other people I would like to thank. I will try to be brief, but it might take me a moment. So firstly, I just wanted to say thank you to my Snow Pond family, the Wigan family, John and Kim. You guys make this all possible, and your caring and nurturing of Snow Pond has changed so many lives. So thank you. And Matthew, you're on this call. My nephew, who is taking the reins and leading Snow Pond into the next generation. My dear friend and partner in crime, Gail Levinsky. I think, Gail, you're on here somewhere. Gail, you somehow managed to keep me sane through all this stuff. So thank you. And I must say a special thank you to Sarah Lehman, who's on this call, who has been my partner through this whole thing from the beginning as well. Sarah, you are you've just been a rock. So
thanks, Joanne.
Continuing. Thank you to all the amazing MCMS musicians who are here today, whose performances we listened to, who gave testimonials, and for those who were just here for moral support. Thank you. And for all the things that everyone said tonight. I agree with Jesse. I got a little verklempt. Really beautiful words, very meaningful. It's this is a labor of love, and so to know that it really is having this kind of effect on people is I'll sleep well tonight. I would also like to thank my incredible faculty. You've heard many of them tonight. Anna, Jesse, Jessica, Michal, Jackie, Rieko. You guys are an incredible team. Not only world-class musicians, but world-class humans, and I'm just so grateful to be on this ride with you guys. I'd like to thank my family for putting up with all the stuff that goes on into keeping this kind of thing going. My Rebecca, who was my tech guru tonight, and has been so helpful getting things going with social media. And to Bill and Josh for just being there through this whole thing. And the extension of that, of course, is my mom and my brothers. Thank you guys. I think you're on tonight. Thank you for all your support. You guys, have made this happen. And last but not least, I have an amazing team here that they're kind of undercover, but we introduced you to Mina. Mina's been wonderful in taking on a lot of administrative duties and help. And Adam DeShriver from Jerusalem, still staying in it every moment, and has been my right arm. So it takes a village, right, to do anything, and it certainly takes a village to make a community like this successful. And I have an amazing village. Thanks to all you guys for being a part of this. And we can now open this up to anyone who wants to chat. Feel free. But again, thank you for coming. Really beautiful, very, very heartwarming.
Thanks so much, Joanne, for your wonderful leadership tonight. I somehow managed to escape any speaking part, which was lovely for me tonight. So but I did want to chime in just to say how grateful we are to have you as the captain of this ship. And it's, of course, always such a joy to hear you play as well. So it was wonderful to hear the Brahms. And thanks so much to everybody for coming tonight. And we appreciate your support so very much. Thanks.
Adam, go to sleep.
I need to. It's 3 a.m, so I'm gonna leave. Night, everyone.
Good night, Adam.
I also want to chime in. I have to leave for a piano quintet rehearsal, and then afterwards a quartet recording. But I want to say, Joanne, thank you for inviting me and allowing me to be in the space with you. And I wanted to say thank you for all of the professors I got to meet and all the amazing humans that I got to play along with. And I can't wait to continue building relationships and seeing you guys in the future. So thank you again.
So great to see you, Tyler. Thank you so much for coming. It was awesome. Thanks.
Bye, Tyler.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good rehearsal.